Today on the patio, I'm showing you an absolutely bark-tastic brisket that we did on the Yoder. Let's get into it. What's up, barbecue fans? My name's Jake, and today we're doing brisket. In fact, we are 4 hours into the cook. Let me bring you up to speed. So yesterday, went to Costco, picked up a brisket. Unfortunately, they only had two. They were choice, and this guy was like 19.5 pounds. The one thing that I don't like about a choice grade, really big brisket is, in my experience, you trim off a ton of fat. Like, so much is wasted, it's ridiculous. Yes, you can make sausages. Yes, you can make tallow. Everyone says they make sausages and tallow, and I'll tell you what, lots of people just throw it out. I tend to keep a little bit in the freezer. Other times I just throw it out. I mean, you can only have so much, right? I don't have a barbecue business. I have a weekend YouTube channel. So anyhow, got my pepper cannon out. I love to make fresh cracked pepper. It takes 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds tops with the pepper cannon. So what I did here is I used some 16 mesh black pepper and I grinded an entire cup. The pepper cannon has a little cup on the bottom of it. It holds about 3 tablespoons, I think, when it's filled up, maybe 3.5 if it's filled up all the way to the brim. So what I did is I filled it up until we hit the bottom of the dial. Then I put a little bit more in there, so I ended up with about a full cup. Then I used about just under half of a cup of Diamond Crystal kosher salt, and then I used just under a quarter with some Lawry's seasoning salt. So it's about a 2-to-1 roughly, right? It doesn't have to be exact, folks, but I wanted it pepper forward. So definitely have a little bit more pepper. After I mixed it up, we got our brisket out and I just started trimming it. So luckily on the top on this one, after we took off that big old decal on the side of it, there wasn't a ton of silver skin, so I gave it a little bit of a trim, but once I pulled off the one edge, you could see that there was one heck of a fat cap on there. So I flipped it over and I worked on that fat cap for a very long time. First thing I did is I took off some of the mohawk there and I just started working on the fat cap, and it was actually about ½ inch thick, maybe a little bit more on some sides. So you can see I'm feeling the fat a lot, right? If it feels hard, typically it's going to be more than a ¼ inch. So lots of spots I can feel it's hard, and I just kind of taking it down. And one of the things that I'm doing when I'm doing that is I'm trying to make sure that I've got a rounded shape, right? So keep that in mind when you're doing it. If you don't lay your knife flat, you're going to get little divots. So I try to lay it as flat as I can. You can see me propping up my hand, and I would take my knife perfectly flat and I would just take off a little bit at a time. Don't rush this process. The more you do it, the better you will get. I mean, the last 3 years of YouTube is really, I've done a lot of brisket videos, so it's really forced me to kind of step up my game. And if you look at some of my earlier brisket trimmings versus now, they've gotten a lot better. So just go through it, make sure you have a super sharp knife. And I see a lot of people making a mistake where they're using this big ass blade to try and trim the fat on a brisket, and they end up hacking it to bits. Don't do that, right? Use a fine boning blade or fillet blade or something like that and just take off a little bit of time, and you should end up with a nice smooth top. Once we're done, then I flipped it back over and I took my salt, pepper, and seasoned salt, put a good coating around the sides and on the bottom. Then we flipped it over and fat cap gave a heavy coating. You can see I switched it to putting it on a rack there. The reason why we did that is that I put it in the fridge overnight. So I put a pretty heavy coating on the fat cap before I even moved it in the fridge. That way some of this salt starts to break that down and adhere. And then I put it in the fridge overnight for about 14 hours. This morning we came out, the first thing I did is I put some Bear Mountain oak pellets into the hopper, and then I got out my smoke tube and I filled up my smoke tube, lit that up. One of the things I hear about people, they complain about it going out, light it for like a good couple minutes, even with a torch, right? And then let it burn. If you don't let it burn for a minute or two after you light it, it will fizzle out. So I usually let it burn for 2 to 5 minutes, depending on how much time I have and how well it's going. In this case, I let it burn for about 3 minutes. While it was burning, I got myself a water container, and then we put the brisket on, and then we started up the Yoder. I started the Yoder at 180. I ran at 180 for the first 2 hours, and then I bumped it up to 200 for the next 2 hours, and that brings us up to where we're at right now. So let's have a look how we're doing. As you can see right now, it's looking pretty good. Still a little dry up there. Once this fat starts to render out a little bit, that will self-baste itself. We're not gonna put anything on here. You can see that it's a little hot on this one end, only because we're starting to get some color. Let me throw on some gloves here real quick, and we're gonna just move this a little bit to help promote some even cooking. I'm also gonna bump up my temperatures and talk to you a little bit about what we're doing there. What I wanna do is I wanna bring this like so. Here's what I'm doing. This is your hot spot right here. This is your exhaust. I don't want, as this starts to break down, I don't want a whole bunch of steam coming in the bottom of my meat. So what I'm doing here is I'm kind of angling it away so the steam's gonna come straight up. The other thing I'm doing is that the lid sits on top here. So right in here, we're a little close. So if I move it over here, when I close my lid, I'm gonna get, another eighth of an inch distance. The other thing I'm gonna do right now is we're going to get this guy out. We've officially gone through 4 hours of smoke. So we're gonna get this guy out here, and you can see we've got some ash here. We're gonna empty this out and we're gonna fill it back up. Now, in general, if you've been around the channel for a while, if you haven't, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe while you're down there. But my typical rule of thumb when I use a smoke tube is no more than half the cook, right? So every other brisket video I've done, I've only run one of these. I'm going to change it up today, and there's a very specific reason why. The challenge with something like a pellet smoker, pellet grill, is that rendering of that fat is difficult, because what we want to do is we run at a lower temperature to maximize the smoke. We add a smoke tube, and then we don't get it cooking at higher temperatures for very long because we're trying to maximize smoke. The downside of that is that we don't render the fat properly. So today I'm trying something different. We're going to run a smoke tube twice, but I'm going to dial up my temperatures. As we get up to 275, I'm not going to get nearly as much smoke as I would if I was at 250 or 225. So we're going to use this to do that. So let me dump this out real quick. Get some more pellets here. So now what we'll do is we'll put this guy back in here. I'm gonna put it right against the wall so I can keep my water away. We'll get out our torch again. All right, so check that out. You can see right now, I've got a whole bunch of flames going there, right? So we know that there's lots of pellets burning. We're gonna let that burn for a minute. I'm gonna close this up just to keep my heat in. Might as well top up my hopper while we're here. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna let the pellet tube burn for a little bit longer, then we'll blow it out. We're gonna dial up the Yoder here to 275. That's gonna help us render out that fat the way we want. And the #1 search on Google that brings people to my website, rumandcook.com, is no wrap brisket. So that's what we're doing today. Speaking of my website, check it out, go there and click my 25K giveaway. It's coming up quick. We're giving away a bunch of different things. Sign up to the newsletter and you'll see all the partners and everything. Don't forget to sign up for that. But what we're doing today is we're gonna just let this go. I'm not gonna wrap it. I'm updating my no wrap video, applying some different techniques. And then what we're gonna do is once this is done, then I'm going to wrap it and put it in the oven overnight and show you what it looks like tomorrow. I'll give you some updates later. I'm actually not gonna spray this for a while, right? We've got a water pan in there. I'm just gonna let this roll. So I'll bring it back in probably 4 or 5 more hours and we'll see how it looks. So we are officially at 9.5 hours. That means that we've been running at 275 for about 5.5 hours. All right. I have not touched this since I saw you last. So let's have a look at it. Looks like my pellet tube just went out like 15 minutes ago. It was still going. So it just went out. Let's get a temp here real quick. I mean, we are looking damn good, if I do say so myself, for not even spraying or anything. Let's see where we're at temp wise here. 162, 163, 159 in the flat, probably in the, ooh, we can get down to 155 there. Over here. So we're actually in really good shape. The flat always cooks quicker, but this is your hot spot again on a Yoder. So we're getting a little bit of a quicker cook here, but I think it's gonna balance itself out and we're gonna be fine. We still have a fair amount of water left. Like I said, I haven't spritzed, I haven't done anything on this guy. So from this point on, I'm not gonna touch this guy. It's looking absolutely perfect. It's going to be a while yet. We're gonna just let it go. What I'm gonna do from this point on is I'm gonna wait till we get till about 195-ish. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some foil, a little bit of tallow, and I'm gonna wrap it and hold it in my oven at 150 overnight, which I will bring you back when we do a wrap, and then we'll wrap up for the night and see you in the morning. So we're at the 11-hour mark, and believe it or not, I think that we're in a pretty good spot because we're gonna do a long rest. It's looking beautiful. I mean, it really is looking good. Pretty happy with it. We are 191, 192 right in the middle. We're 196 in our flat. And as we get closer, find the center here, you know, we're 192. So I think that we're pretty good. Like when I look at this guy, I think we're in pretty good shape. So what I'm gonna do here, put down some tallow here. Not too bad considering I have not touched it all day, not even sprayed once. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let me close this up here, move some things around. We got, I don't know if you can see him on camera, but Ollie's inspecting my wrap process. He's been going insane because this is my third video of the day, so it's been nothing but good smell. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna wrap this up like so, super tight, all right? And then one more time. Then what we're gonna do here, put this on a rack like so. Make sure it's super tight. And now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna throw this in my oven. My oven goes down to 150 naturally, so I'm gonna put this in for probably the next 12 to 14 hours, and I'll show you what it looks like tomorrow morning. So here we are 16 hours later, and the house is smelling good. I got high hopes for this guy right here. 16 hours at 150. So let's not talk and let's look. And I just kind of put this on a rack. Get yourself some wire racks. I use them all the time. They come in super handy to dry brine meat, dry sausages, cookies if you're a baker. I'm not a baker. My wife does that for me. But I do all the other cooking. Don't tear my brisket. How you like me now? So yeah, I'm looking pretty good right there. Got the jigger we're looking for. Just a little bit of build up there. Some pooling, but not too bad. Let's get this guy out. Easy there, Tiger. And put that there. Take some of that tallow. Get a little tallow on top here. So take a look at that brisket there. Does that look like that came off a pellet grill? I mean, a lot of people say you can't get good bark on a pellet grill. I mean, I just proved you wrong, right? Done it time and time again. Look, it takes some practice, right? Everyone wants to jump to a brisket. Brisket is one of those things that you're gonna mess up on, right? You've gotta just do some trial and error and learn. But when we start low with a smoke tube and we stretch out that cook time, we get a good bark, right? The other thing I'm interested once we look in this, since we raised the temperature, see how we did with that fat render, but it also 2 parts pepper is important to help build this bark. Enough looking, let's cut into this bad boy. Give you a nice little camera shot there. Oh yeah. How you like me now? Look at that guy. I think we rendered the fat exactly what we're looking for. If it tastes half as good as it looks, I think we succeeded and we're in for some delicious looking brisket. Just protect our ends here a little bit. Let me give you a shot here. So the one thing that I did here is I gave myself a little bit of a notch. The grains were going this way, so I'm gonna actually cut with the grain. Wow. Even that outside piece is looking not too bad. Wait till we get into some bigger pieces here. Have a look here. Floppy, flop, 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 flop. I think we're good. Pulls apart easy. The one thing I noticed on this one, the pepper is popping like crazy. I mean, look, I use my pepper can all the time, so I didn't really do anything different, but for some reason, and I don't know why, but like you get a ton of pepper flavor in this. I don't normally get that even when I use my pepper can for fresh cracked pepper on a brisket, so I'm not sure why. It's coming across, and it's potent. It's good. I was surprised for it to be that pepper forward. So what we're gonna do here is we'll give you a shot here. Go right down the center here so you can see what's going on here. Look, we talked about rendering out that fat. I think we did a pretty damn good job. We'll take a little bit of a burnt end here. Well, yeah, why not? Wow, good smoke flavor. I think using that pellet tube the second time and running this at 275 might be a magic trick that you might want to consider. I'm pretty impressed by the fat rendering and the flavor of this guy. I mean, this is one of the best briskets I've made. Got a little crispy at the bottom in a couple parts, but I mean, look. That is looking phenomenal. For a pellet grill, come on. This, my friends, is hands down the best brisket I've ever done on my Yoder. I mean, the fat rendering on this is crazy good. The smoke flavor is delicious. Adding that extra smoke tube in there and cranking it up to 275 to help render out that fat absolutely worked. But more importantly, I didn't spray this once. So I didn't cool it down at all. I just let it go. And the fat rendering, I mean, it speaks for itself. The bark is phenomenal. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, give this method a try. I impressed myself. I mean, this is just a great friggin' brisket. I want to go in and enjoy this real quick. If I didn't tell you earlier, 25K giveaways around the corner. Go to my website, runandcook.com. Scroll down, check out the sponsors, and sign up to my newsletter to enter to win that. And if you're not subscribed yet, why the hell not? Click that down below. Give it a thumbs up while you're down there. Thanks as always for watching. I'll see you soon.